So Kyle Pitts, unquestioned Dynasty tight end 1 though, right? Like we're not moving off that just because of the injury in a down year with Marcus Mariota and Arthur Smith returning to 1950s football.
Would you trade Mark Andrews for Kyle Pitts straight up in any single league?
Today, maybe not, because I want to.
And how could it be? Now. How could he be the Dynasty tight end 1?
Because if you ask me that again on Tuesday morning after the championships, I might change my mind.
You really think coming into this year, like my thing is with Andrews, he's 27 right now. He is already basically sniffing like the Travis Kelce type production, and he's taken a step back a little bit. He was there earlier in the year, had a knee and shoulder injury, hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6. That's due to correct a little bit. But he's basically going to be that guy for the next 4+ seasons, 5+ seasons. Like, and I would expect you to continue be able to trade him for Kyle Pitts plus, like for the next 2+ seasons, like maybe 3+ seasons. So I would say they're in the same tier. I don't think it's like, oh, if you take Kyle Pitts over Mark Andrews, you're making the wrong choice. It's definitely more of like the long-term outlook. But I don't think there's like a real case against Mark Andrews as a Dynasty tight end 1 right now.
I think the biggest concern for me with Mark Andrews as Dynasty tight end 1 is that he's quite a bit older. He's 6 years older, 5 years older, which is one thing. But it's like he's still got a few years left, so it's not really a concern per se.
But when will the Dynasty community start to actually care about his age? It's not going to be for another 4+ seasons.
When the production stops.
Yeah. But at this rate,
there is that factor. Like you can't just say no, age is not a factor. Age is a factor. It's just not a huge factor. But that is probably the first point to look at. The second point to look at, I think, is that while we think that Lamar Jackson is an adequate passer, or at least I do, I also don't think that he's going to be a league best passer. And we're probably never going to see high-end volume out of a Lamar Jackson offense on purpose. It may happen due to, if the defense implodes or whatever, and they have to score a bunch of points. It's possible, but I think we're kind of looking at mid-range pass volume as a team going forward. And then, which is funny to say that's a knock on Mark Andrews. The Falcons literally don't pass, but I think where I'm coming from with this is that probably nothing's going to change for the Ravens. Something's absolutely going to change for the Falcons. If they keep doing this, the team is going to fire everyone, and we're going to start over scorched earth, and we may get an offensive whiz in there that wants to run an up-tempo offense.
But the thing is, you're locking in Mark Andrews to the Ravens offense when you're doing that projection, right? And when you're doing that, you're also locking him in to leading tight ends and target share on an annual basis with Lamar Jackson. So you're really just riding that. Are they going to get close enough to like even league average in passing volume? Which I think we were seeing that with Rashad Bateman. It's not that they don't want to be close to league average. It's not that Lamar Jackson can't do it. It's that they're freaking trotting out Devin Duvernay and whoever that DeMarcus Robbins. Give me a freaking break, dude. Like, I'm not concerned that they're going to – the way forward is to develop this passing offense to at least be league average. Like, you don't want to be overly dependent on the run. They brought in Rashad Bateman for a reason. Like, they want to at least be, I would say, pass happier than they're being forced to be right now. And Andrews, even in this like badder iteration of it, is still at like 14.5 points per game, dealing with the injuries. So I'm not like concerned with locking him into this Ravens offense and just saying, oh, hey, you play with Lamar Jackson, a quarterback who's going to make you the league leader in target share on an annual basis, especially when I believe Lamar Jackson is a capable passer and is going to demand that their offense evolves into like the most explosive version of an offense is one that passes the football in the NFL. And the Ravens are not completely blind to that fact. I don't think. I'm a Ravens fan, so I have my biases. But they're a pretty well-run franchise. They're open to analytics. Like, they know that developing a balanced offense is beneficial to Lamar. And I don't believe they want to stay in Stone Age, like rushing attempts forever.
No,
I believe, especially to protect him, is if they pay Lamar, please pay Lamar.
If they don't pay Lamar, then
I will cry until I will quit.
Everyone in the building should be fired on the spot if Lamar Jackson is not the quarterback every year for the next decade.
I don't see
where I'm going with all this is simply that with Mark Andrews, we do have somewhat of a limited ceiling because we're unlikely to never see like Josh Allen level volume. Like that's just not in the cards. With Kyle Pitts, we're unlikely to see Josh Allen level volume either, at least in the near term. But in the long term, anything is possible. And I think that like allure of the unknown is giving me a little bit of Kyle Pitts.
But I also think you need to play this game even when you're playing it with a long-term outlook. You have to understand we're not playing it that far. We have to go through each phase of it. And unless Atlanta gets a quarterback next year, this upcoming year, a real fix, you're going to be able to both profit with Mark Andrews' points and then sell him for Kyle Pitts plus at some point. Like, you can get the best of both worlds without saying, 2 years down from, well, because you already made the move to Kyle Pitts in a year from now while still having that window with Mark Andrews. So I don't think, even if you're saying, all right, eventually, do we believe that's going to happen next year? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have a draft pick high enough to get one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. I just don't know what's going to be at quarterback for Atlanta next year.
You know what? You've talked me out of it. I'm no longer taking Kyle Pitts on the Tuesday after the championship. I'm waiting until the dominoes are in place because I don't think he's going to get all that much more expensive. I think there's probably quite a bit more value in Mark Andrews right now anyway, so it's a bit of a moot point. But I think you're right. Not only do we need an actual quarterback, we need an actual quarterback that's not going to be a rookie, which is probably what's going to happen next year. They'll probably try to draft a rookie quarterback they're probably not going to pick early enough to get a good one, which could be on this like vicious cycle of like the Carolina Panthers right now. Like we could be in that kind of state with the Atlanta Falcons.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
and then we also have to get rid of Arthur Smith. Like it's multifactorial that's holding back Kyle Pitts from being a true superstar. And we have Drake London sharing the ball now. And Drake London could simply be as good or better than Kyle Pitts. You talked me completely off the Kyle Pitts. I'm moving him down to tight end 17, and we're going forward with that.
Just don't trade him for Njoku straight up. I saw one of the patrons got that. I was about
like they traded.
It's a time. Somebody got Kyle Pitts for Njoku straight up. Like this is
that's
time
amazing
to buy. I wouldn't buy him with Mark Andrews straight up, but it's absolutely a great time to be buying Kyle Pitts just because they're very panicky owners right now.
Yeah, great job to whomever got Kyle Pitts for David Njoku. God bless you.
He got the offer sent to him, so he didn't do anything.
No, he just hit accept before waiting for the other person to panic and remove it. Love it.
I guess that counts for something.